Move.
By the way, I'm upset. It's Monday and I had to shave.
You're really taking this personally that you had to shave because it's Monday? Hi, it's the Todd and Erin Daily Stream. How are you?
Here's my idea.
Okay.
Everyone stop shaving.
I like you clean shaven. Do
No,
you remember
women
what
too.
you look
Women
like
too.
with, okay.
No, big and bushy humans walking around. See, it doesn't work if a couple of people do it. You got to all do it at the same time.
Do you remember what you look like with a full beard?
It looks scary.
You look like a guy who buries weapons in his front yard and lives alone in a shanty in the woods. Kind of like the Ted
But I didn't
Kaczynski
have
look.
to share. I didn't have to shave.
Yeah, but no one wanted to be near you. So there is that corresponding effect that you might recall.
All right. Very good.
Yeah, that one.
All right. So first of all, can we do this first? I want to do this.
No,
first.
this is how in demand real estate is now in Utah. Now, we've always been used to being sort of like, well, you know, California, everything's in demand.
There's a house over there.
We are so much worse than California that you cannot even believe it right now. Our real estate market is nuts. So here's one of the tricks. Number one, anything that is available is going like the first day because everyone's like, oh my God, it's a house, I have to get it.
Right.
We've seen this. Well, here's the second thing. There isn't any inventory. People are just like sort of hanging like in this flight pattern waiting for like houses to show up they can afford. So when the former Granite High School in South Salt Lake got torn down, it became a redevelopment property for home buyers. So here's the deal. It's about 5th East Mill Creek Way, and a whole bunch of different homes are about ready to be erected. And Garbutt Homes had a little sign that says, hey, start here if you want to get going for lots.
Lots for sale.
Now, here's the funny thing. The line starts here. What they were talking about is the sale for lots became open the next morning at 9 a.m.
9 a.m., right.
Well, okay, things meant business because it started on Thursday evening when one home buyer, potential home buyer, set out a camping chair right in front of the sign and just sat there and went, I'm here till Saturday morning. Had his cooler with him.
It's like an Apple phone.
Yeah, it's like waiting in line for Apple phones or like concert tickets used to be, or you know, like waiting for that front row at the parade. Except for this guy really wanted a freaking house, really bad.
So he got they're buying lots. They're not even buying homes.
No, it's the lot. Well, this is what's so funny. Everyone freaked out, and she said it was like a sea of lemmings. Everyone like, oh my God, I have to do that. So like real estate developers were trying to get the spots, and then like, you know, buyers were like, oh crap, you know, the realtors were thinking, I've got to get in here for my buyers.
Well, they also said that the price was going to go up $3,000.
Oh yeah.
As time went on.
So it was funny, yeah, and the price does increase by thousands of dollars for every 3 lots sold. So obviously it makes it worth getting in line early. There's only 31 lots that were available in the first phase, and there were over 400 people waiting just like this.
Yeah, and then you know what the developers are going? We sold them too cheap.
You are horrible people.
This
is kind of sweet though. Jeff Johnson was one of the hopeful buyers. He was following the demolition of Granite High, and he knew about the development, and he was just waiting like, soon there will be information. Soon there will be information. And when it got there, he actually started walking up and down the aisle, down the line, and he had muffins, and he goes, hey, we're going to be neighbors. It's nice to meet you. Would hand them a muffin. We should all get to know each other. So people were like playing board games and hanging out with each other. And he says,
find out who the drinkers are.
And I'm in love with Jeff because
at 9 a.m.
They were looking at the big board, you know, where they showed the lot numbers. He goes,
Sure.
I got a good feeling. I got a good vibe on 107. He goes, that's going to be my lot.
Okay.
And sure enough, Jeff got his lot.
You know, it seems.
But that's how out of control we are here in Utah now.
You know, there's a lot of ways to charm a date. There's a lot of ways to. There's roses and candy and flowers and restaurants and dancing. And
taking them ice fishing. Chilled shrimp and mulled wine.
There's all these things you could do. But one of the things that they're doing from the health department is actually giving you some tips on dating.
This is the most adorable thing I've ever seen. I want to know who works.
This is not adorable.
This is adorable, and I'll tell you why. Can you imagine being like the social media manager for the Salt Lake County Health Department? Because it's like, this is not a sexy job, okay? This is a job where you're like trying to make mundane things go, hey, this is kind of, got to share this. And
plus,
this
you're dealing with
adorable.
people dying from stuff.
It started with a July 30th post from Reddit, and it was saying, hey, I'm looking for date ideas in the Salt Lake area. So God bless the social media person. He goes, I got a list for you. And it was hysterical. The list was so funny.
All right, let's go.
It went viral. And so they were getting so many responses on it. She went, I'm going to put this on Twitter.
Let's go.
Once again, it got huge, and it was hysterical. There was Jessica Priest was following it. She's an associate professor of political science at BYU, and she wrote, okay, who wants to join forces to become the attractive property dispose of toxic waste poster couple. All you have to do is show up. I will provide the toxic waste. Once in a lifetime opportunity, my dudist. And the health department said, we will totally follow this, like with video, with cameras, if you can get a date.
I want the list.
And she goes, hey, Salt Lake Health, I have a dump date. We're going to be rolling on over to the Trans-Jordan landfill on Wednesday, just before closing, with some toxic waste to properly dispose. Now, what to wear? What to wear? It took her less than, I guess, 10 minutes to get a date.
This is not her only idea, though.
Now, this is so adorable. No, these are their other suggestions.
There you go.
Sit down and read about the Salt Lake County Health Department's history.
That's boring.
Bicycle around town and report rolling coal vehicles to the Salt Lake County Health Department.
All right, all right.
I can see that whistleblower. Good.
Right.
Make sure you're up to date on your immunizations and schedule an appointment
Together.
at the Salt Lake County Health Department Immunizations Office.
Awesomely sexy.
This is, once again, the one that Jessica picked. Collect household hazardous waste from you or your date's home and dispose of it at the Salt Lake Valley landfill or the Trans-Jordan landfill. Request a vital record, birth or death certificate from one of the Salt Lake County Health Department's vital records offices. And my personal favorite, go to the Salt Lake County Health Department STD office and get tested for STDs together.
There you go. It's perfect.
This went viral on Reddit.
It's better than a bouquet of flowers, I guess.
That's it. Okay, just on principle, except for that last one, that's pretty awfully
If
funny.
somebody went to the landfill with you, that would actually be interesting.
You know what? That's true love. I'm not going to lie. That's true love right there.
That could be a keeper, don't you think?
I'm sorry. I thought that was so funny. Now tell me about this couple, because you showed me their picture and I don't believe
Well, I'm not
you.
going to tell you about the couple yet. I'm going to tell you about 1985.
Okay.
And suddenly, the art museum in Phoenix. And so what happened was, the security guard went to the door and he unlocked the door and he was there.
Is this for like an early arrival employee or something? Or?
Yeah.
Sure.
Martha.
Okay.
Martha comes
sure.
in, and then there's two other people, and they don't work there. But he went like, well, we open in 5 minutes, so let's just come on in.
Hey, art lovers, come in and join us.
And
sure.
the woman stayed with chatting with the security guard, and the other guy just went up the stairs and came out. And then he came down, and they cut off the conversation with the security guard, and they both left rather quickly.
Okay, sure.
The reason they left very quickly is Kooning's
iconic woman. Oh, correct. Painting.
right.
Willem de Kooning's.
Yeah, and his painting, and it disappeared. Someone had cut it out of the frame. I guess I wonder who.
You're kidding. They actually cut the canvas free from the frame?
That's what they do. Did you not know that? Have
It's
you
a desecration.
Have you seen no movies?
You don't touch a painting.
Have you never seen a movie?
You don't touch an
that they
iconic
steal
painting with a
art?
razor blade.
The one with Sean Connery and the other girl from the thing. That's what you do. You go in and zit, 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 and you lose.
Catherine Zeta-Jones?
Yeah.
Okay, her.
And you take the painting and you run.
Okay.
So that's what they did, whoever these people were.
Whoever this mysterious art thief, like caper-style couple is. Okay, sure.
Well, they died eventually. And they had an estate sale. And one of these gentlemen was walking through the estate sale and he went, wow, not necessarily knowing what it was, but said $2,000.
I like the look of this.
He was an art guy. And he goes, I'm going to take that. I'm going to buy that. So he buys it. And then he ends up saying, I'm going to call an art consultant on this. And he did. And this is in New Mexico where he bought it. And he finally tracks down what it was, who had it on
Which
display.
was Willem de Kooning's.
Blah, blah, blah. Worth $160 million. $160 million. The couple...
They stole a $160 million art piece.
Yeah. And the couple had it sitting and hanging in their bedroom since 1985.
So was this like a mastermind couple of art thievery?
No, this is their only thing they ever did.
This was like a standard suburban couple who went, well, I want that thing. And they went and just cut it out.
University of Arizona Museum of Art. They went in and stole the picture.
They stole a $160 million painting and hung it over their bed?
Not over their bed. That would be a mirror and that'd be weird. They put it on the wall of their bedroom. Now, as far as I know, the police started tracking him down. The police drawings were like dead on for
And
this
nobody
couple.
picked this up.
No one picked it up, and then they found out,
I guess because they weren't wanted, they were just like standard suburban couple people.
They were in Phoenix. It was the day after Thanksgiving with their daughter. And then they left and they went back to New Mexico. And since 1985, it's been hanging in their bedroom.
With a Willem de Kooning's painting.
And then they both died. No, not at the same time. Not like weird. They just like, he, and then she's 6 years later, like that. Then the estate sale happened. Then they found the picture.
I have never heard of anything like that. Hey, Nancy, I like that picture over there. What do you think? Well, Joseph, that'd be great. I'd love it.
Goes with the drapes.
I'm going to go chat up that nice young man over there in the uniform. You cut it out of the frame.
We have.
Does this really happen to people?
Yes, it does. It just did. All right, so coming up, we have a test. We're going to go to Todd and Erin's test lab. It's almost.
We have a lab now? Because I just thought it was the dining room table.
You know, I tell them stuff like that. Sometimes I'm just like telling them like that. I'm not really saying.
Like it sounds more professional.
It does, as opposed to we're going to do this thingy, okay?
You realize that
You're talking too loud.
you realize that anybody who knows us knows that's full of crap, right?
Well, they know we're full of crap, so it's okay.
Okay, so tell them what we're doing.
Test lab. I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is. Test lab, urban legend, and it's coming up next.
The Todd and Erin Daily Stream is brought to you by Magic Wash, home of the ultra-durable ceramic car wash to keep your car looking clean and pretty for longer. 2 locations in Layton and South Ogden. And also by New Millennium Group, financial advisors to help you grow into financial security. Go to utahsfinancialplanner.com for a free Social Security optimization report.
All right, another test with Coca-Cola. How does this one work?
Boy, they say this is the magical elixir of stuff, but the rust one I've heard from several different sources. I have a lot of mechanics who actually swear by this. They say that if you immerse your rusty tools in Coca-Cola, by morning you can easily wash off all the rust.
And then you have a beverage. Okay.
Kinda.
With iron.
Yeah, if you got that low blood thing going, that's great.
Okay,
Or
all right, so-
not.
This just goes in the Coke. All right, tell me what to do.
Todd, this really isn't that rough. You simply pour the Coca-Cola
Suddenly
into the
you're not
glass.
going to tell me what to do in my life?
Oh,
Really?
Really, says the mansplainer. No, seriously, this is easy. Just fill it up to the top. Oh, the foamy goodness in carbonated beverage.
That's because it's warm. Mm-hmm. All right.
Now, is that going to be enough to immerse all your...
Yes.
Throw those suckers in there.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so
These are my nut drivers.
All right, so right now it's 9:45. So
Okay. We're just going to see tomorrow.
so tomorrow sometime
Okay, all right.
we'll give it an overnight. So let's assume like 18 hours.
All right.
And then tomorrow we're going to put it to the test and see if the Coca-Cola has eaten off all the rest.
I usually like a little squeeze of lemon.
You're getting creepier, you know that, right?
Getting. How long has it been?
Okay, we've been soaking the rusty tools in Coca-Cola for 24 hours. Now, Pinterest tells us, Pinterest life hacks tell us that if you soak the rustiest tools in Coca-Cola, just straight Coca-Cola for 24 hours, that they will come out and can be brushed off like a newborn baby's bottom and be shiny and pure again. So,
Are you suggesting that we soak a baby's bottom? in
no,
Coca-Cola?
no, it was just the analogy.
All right.
So what do you think? You want to try to wipe them off?
All right, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I feel about this.
I thought they'd be shinier.
They never were shiny.
You know, like the miracle commercials on TV where they tell you that one swipe with their miracle. See, that's
It's
kind of-
cleaner.
that's kind of what I was expecting is the color.
All right, so that one's a little bit cleaner, okay?
Oh, that's something.
Well, you see the stuff that came off.
Yeah,
And that's a little better, too.
but it's not like, oh my gosh, all the rest is gone, especially these little
Right.
suckers right there.
Well, let's look at the nut driver, shall we?
You say that with so much relish. Eh? I don't know. What do you think?
Not so much.
But so like a,
But in contrast,
they did start out like that.
they started out like that.
All right, that actually makes me slightly
1
more
out of 10,
invested.
what do you give it?
I give it a 6 now that I'm looking at that.
I'm
What
going
do
to
you
give it a 4.
Okay.
Because I'm not sure I couldn't have done that with like a steel wool kind of thing.
So at this point, we're kind of like,
We're like, maybe we should have drank the Coke.
oh, no, no, no. All right, first Coca-Cola test. It is getting rid of rust on tools. We came out at a generalized 5.
All right, there you go.
The Todd and Erin Daily Stream is brought to you by PC Laptops, with desktops and laptops starting as low as $7.99 with a lifetime parts and service warranty. They fix phones too. Go to PCLaptops.com. And by Brio Technologies. They rent, sell, and install audiovisual components, including professional sound, lighting, video, and intercom systems, components, projectors, interactive whiteboards, and classroom audio systems. Just go to BrioAudiovisual.com.
You know what I'm in the mood for?
What?
Tell me something good.
I can do that for you.
You got a story?
It's brought to you by PC Laptops. PC Laptops, where you can get a desktop or a laptop starting as low as $7.99. Go to PCLaptops.com. This is so cool to me because, I mean, you and I especially, because we've done some work down in the prisons and we've done some charity stuff. And when you see...
When she says work in the prison, she means...
The important thing is we've seen how far it can go and how good people can fall down a rabbit hole and never come back out again. And we can see how things can be really brutal. Well, something has changed over the last decade, and it's becoming amazing. According to Pew Research Center, which is pretty much, iconic, they say that the rate of recidivism has dropped by 23% over the course of a 7-year period. Now, recidivism obviously is when someone comes out of prison, what is the likelihood of them returning back to prison again? And it used to be extremely high because that's all they knew.
So what's the difference?
It's dropped by 1/4. Well, there's a couple of different things. Number one, America is also becoming safer. We're seeing much less violent or property crime. And some of the ones that they've seen that were really serious, like Georgia, Michigan, Texas, North Carolina, South Carolina, where they had the highest rates of return back to prisons, had all dropped by at least 1/4. And so they were going through this and they were trying to figure it out, and they went back to Arizona. Arizona was one of the first ones that saw the rate of recidivism, of returning to prison, drop dramatically. And what they were finding is a lot of the programs that had been implemented during that time in probation services were dramatically different. And they also found more grants to support nonprofits that were offering mentoring services.
We have that here.
And providing technology career training. Now explain this, because I think what they do here is God's work.
I hope I get it right. The other side? Is that what the name
Yeah.
of it is? Okay, the other side. They take nonviolent people who are on parole. They take them out of prison. Hard to get a job.
Even if you want to work, and most do, they want to take care of their family or
Especially
whatever
if
they
you
left
have
behind.
You have a probation officer coming by your work, and coming by your work and stuff like that. And it just feels weird. So anyway, what they do is they hire them, and they have a catering service. And one of the big things is they have a moving company. And they have like 10 trucks, and they're out there and they're moving houses. And
Brand new thrift store.
And they're doing that, and they're doing all these different. They're teaching people cooking. They're teaching people. There's tons of stuff.
Business, reconstruction, structure. If you ever go by like South Temple and 7th East, between South and South Temple, you will see all those beautiful old historic buildings and all their trucks neatly lined up. They have massive gardens that they use behind that for their catering. They're redoing these houses to teach them these skills.
This is why, yeah.
And this is one of the things that they found here in Utah that's been incredible for these people coming out, these nonviolent offenders who really have nowhere to go. And this has changed their lives. And some of the things are really bizarre that you would not expect. For instance, in California, Tim Robbins, you remember the actor Tim Robbins? He was in Bull Durham, Susan Sarandon's boy.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah, well, boyfriend. Yeah. Anyway, he dramatically cut in half repeat offender rates for California prisoners who take his acting class behind bars. He teaches an acting class for 200 prisoners every quarter.
That's so funny.
And 60% of them do not come back to prison. 60%.
That's amazing.
And that's through Tim Robbins' acting class. Number one, I love him because this is a major movie star who went, I'm going to devote the rest of my career to teaching prisoners.
Right.
And does. And number two, that something like that would be enough to change these people's lives that dramatically.
That's true. Plus he looks good in lacy panties.
Well, that's always good too.
If you haven't seen the movie, refer back to it later.
And prison gardens, those were a huge thing. They became there's a couple of other ones where what they were finding were service things where people were learning service opportunity. Like, for instance, these guys who were learning construction or moving here in Utah.
Training dogs, having dogs in prison with them 24/7.
Prisoners in North Carolina had become expert Braille translators. So they've been doing translations for the blind. And once again, the prison gardens, this has been a huge one. They said that they've actually opened a huge agricultural section down in both Arizona and down in South Carolina for these prisoners coming out on parole. They're able to like grow the produce and sell it and have their own warehouses.
A lot of people don't know, in Salt Lake City at the prison down in Draper, they grow roses, and it's hydro heated. From the ground.
Yeah, from the hot springs.
Right, and Lone Peak Nursery is down there. What they grow is they grow all native habitat plants. And if you've ever driven on, let's see, 215 around I-80, all the exit ramps, they're all covered with all the plants that grow in Utah and that are drought tolerant.
I just think that's such an amazing thing.
There's a reason.
So by 25 to 30% recidivism, they're not going back. They're finding a new life.
Right.
And violent crime is dropping substantially every single year. That is something good to me. That is something amazing.
I am now putting up a flare. I'm putting up a warning.
Really?
If you have an exotic animal, like let's say you're the Living Planet Aquarium, or you're the Utah Hogle Zoo, or this is the place.
Scales and Tails are guys there that have all those amazing rare breeds.
People are stealing crap like crazy, and we're talking critters.
Okay, when you say stealing critters, what are you talking about specifically?
Oh, let's start with a shark.
Someone stole a shark?
Someone stole a shark. And the story comes from, I believe it's from Texas, yeah.
San Antonio.
San Antonio, Texas. And they have a petting tank, for the kids to pet in the aquarium and stuff. And they have skates, and they have all these different things. And
Sure.
And you can paint it and pat them and stuff. And, well, evidently, at one point during the day, and this was caught on surveillance, that a couple grabbed the shark.
The shark's name is Miss Helen.
It had a name, and they grabbed it, wrapped it in the blanket, put it in the baby stroller, and walked it out of the place.
Who dresses a shark like a baby and just rolls
Who
it?
steals a friggin' shark?
And so apparently they got a good enough look at this guy, and they went right to his house. And what did they find? I mean,
Well, first of all, they followed the water trail to where the car was parked. Then they went to the security cameras. Then they got the license plate. Then the police and they're worried about Miss who?
Miss Helen.
Miss Helen. And how is she doing?
She's a fragile shark. I mean, yeah, is she getting the right pH balance in her tank?
So they show up, and there he is, and he's got all these saltwater tanks and a bunch of sharks. He's got 5 other sharks and all this stuff, and he goes, "I'm an activist." And
He was keeping Miss Helen in a bathtub. Really, he was just going to collect her because he thought.
He's going to put her with his other 5 sharks.
Because he's an activist.
He's got 5 sharks. He said they weren't taking care of it because evidently he went in a month earlier and said he was with so and so and so and so, and he went and tested the pH in the
water?
in the tank, yeah, which was no problem. But he said now he
Just
says,
the fact that they would let a complete stranger come in and mess around with the water.
Right.
Well, you can see you don't deserve that, Miss Helen, because you let me in.
Yeah. Okay, move over.
Okay.
Move over, shark kidnappers.
There's more.
There is more. The police have in Santa Ana have reported a stolen lemur.
The little monkeys with the big gigantic eyes?
Well,
the lemurs?
Lemurs. If you want to picture, the lemurs are the ones when they run sideways and they bounce.
Yeah, but they're adorable. They have the big staring yellow eyes, and they always look perpetually startled.
Well, who wouldn't want to steal one?
This is horrible.
So basically, what happened is there was a break-in at the zoo, and they went and released a bunch of monkeys.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Now, most animals who escape a zoo actually stay in the zoo because
they're like, "What are you people doing
here?" They're scared of outside. They know where their food is. They're not wild animals. They are wild animals, but they're like
they're not stupid.
I'm going to hang out. So all the rest of the monkeys just kind of hid there, and they went, we're just going to hang out.
But they took Isaac, the ring-tailed lemur.
Right, he was the oldest one second oldest one in North America.
Great, thanks.
Yeah.
Have they found him yet?
Yes, basically what they found him at the front of the police station. He was in a dog kennel, and sent a note going, "This belongs to the zoo, please return it."
So in other words, they found out that a ring-tailed lemur was probably just a little bit higher maintenance they were planning on. Maybe they thought it was going to be like Curious George, and they would just wrap around him like the man with the yellow hat. And then the first time it bit him right on the face, they went, "That's not what we were planning on."
I've never seen where they say lemurs are a little bitey.
Lemurs are super bitey.
Well, I would imagine.
And they have these.
If you were being stolen. If you were being stolen.
I would be a little bitey too. I'd be stabby, to be honest with you.
The shark had a potential of hurting people as well.
It's harder to do that when you're wrapped up with a baby bonnet, because your teeth are like, they want to come out, but they got the
baby
string.
bonnet.
They dressed him up like a baby and wrapped him in a blanket.
Oh, yeah, a pacifier. Totally harmless. So if you have an exotic animal, hide it. Just to the zoo, look out.
I just love that it took less than a night for them to go, "This ring-tailed lemur's going to kill us." I am very proud of you, Isaac.
Yeah, good job making a pain in the butt. He's probably throwing poo at him, which is awesome what monkeys do. All right, you guys have a great day. It's a Monday. Tomorrow.
Oh, do not forget, by the way, to like and share the show today. That enters you to win dinner for 4 at Christopher's Prime Steakhouse. It is glorious. And all you have to do is annoy your friends by sharing our show with them.
Please do.
They'll suffer. You'll have dinner. Everyone's happy.
All right. We're good?
I
We're
think
done.
so.
We'll see you tomorrow on the Todd and Erin daily stream. I wonder what lemurs do.
I'm sure he's super bitey.
I wonder if they hang on to you and bite you.
I
Or if
bet.
they just nip and leave.
Do you think they probably want to get a good grip? So in case but that way if you shake them off and their hands and legs are free, they still got that grip, jaws on their arms.